So we talked about this on Valiant Renegades channel on Sunday. Shout out to Valiant Renegade. Shout out to VR. It was cool getting to go on his channel. He knows a lot about numbers and stuff like that, like financial consultant and stuff like that. Like, I'm not saying that he gave me a bunch of financial, advice or anything like that, but he does know a lot of his numbers. But so it's some geeksandgamers.com. Chris Gore reveals Doctor Doom details in Avengers Doomsday trailer rough cut. So, yeah, it's not looking so good, basically, in short. This is not looking so good with Doctor Doom Doomsday. I don't really care. I'm not sure how much money this movie is going to make. I'm pretty sure it's going to make a lot of money because it's an Avengers movie. They're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. They're bringing back Chris Evans. They're bringing back the entire cast. And they're also bringing in the X-Men cast as well. So I know that a lot of people are excited for this, but I, for one, do not care about Marvel anymore, given the fact that the last couple of movies that we've seen come out of Marvel has been absolute dog shit, right? Fantastic Four, First Dicks was dog shit. Same thing with Thunderbolts. It did not make a lot of money. It was not good. Same thing with Brave New Dicks with Captain America 4, right? The Black Falcon America, whatever. All of them sucks, and that's the lead up to this movie. There's no hype. It's all dead. I do not care about the MCU. I want it to die and burn. However, is it as bad as Star Wars? I don't think it is, but it's almost there. So will Doctor Doom resemble the universal monster when he graces the silver screen in Avengers Doomsday? That's what Chris Gore heard from someone at Marvel, and he talked about his sources reporting regarding a rough cut of the trailer for an upcoming MCU movie on Film Threat. Now, a lot of people is like, oh, this is insider source and stuff like that. Now, here's the thing. The insider source I trust with Chris Gore, it's because this insider source, I think I know who he's talking about. I think I know who he's talking about. And he's the one who told us that Henry Cavill was going to be in Deadpool Wolverine the December before the movie came out the following year. And it was true. And they said that almost every leak that you heard is almost true besides Storm, a couple of other characters. But the Henry Cavill being in Deadpool Wolverine, he said that he was going to be in the movie. I heard about this 6 to 7 months before the movie came out, and it was true. So I know if this is the same source, that that's the one we're talking about, the same guy we're talking about, then yeah, this is probably very, very true, right? You see, Gore began the video explaining to the viewers that with co-host Alan Ng, shout out to my dad, that he couldn't divulge certain pieces of information from his source. Then he confirms that what rumors have been saying for a while, that the Avengers Doomsday trailer will debut in front of Avatar: Fire and Ash, the next installment of James Cameron's massive blockbuster sci-fi franchise. Fire and Ash will arrive in theaters the December 19th, 2025, almost a year to the day before Avengers Doomsday is released. I think this is probably what's going to actually happen. It's because everyone's going to be watching this movie. This movie, Fire and Ash Avatar, is probably going to make about $2 billion, possibly more. I like the first Avatar. Second Avatar was a lot better, especially me becoming a father. I'm pretty sure this movie is going to be pretty damn good as well. It's James Cameron. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be filmed in IMAX and stuff like that. It's going to be great. Describing the Avengers Doomsday trailer, Gore calls it not anything groundbreaking at all, and not nearly finished. His source was surprised by the amount of footage of Doom in action. That is actually not good. You should not show a lot of Doom in a trailer. You should always show a little bit. Do not show his superpowers. You want to keep the meat and potatoes hidden. All right, that's how you should do it. This is another rumor that has been circulating. The Avengers Doomsday trailer will focus on Doctor Doom and a new villain played by Tony Stark actor Robert Downey Jr. So in my opinion, I think that this is going to be true. I think that this is going to be lackluster. People are still going to be hyped for it, right? People are still going to be super, super excited. You're going to see the first initial teaser trailer. People are going to get hyped. And then you're going to see it at the Super Bowl. You're going to see even more of it during Comic-Con and Marvel Celebration or whatever it is. And then it's going to be coming out next year. However, if you guys don't know, This movie was supposed to come out like 7 months prior, right? So it was supposed to come out like during May, if I'm not mistaken. It's supposed to be several months before it was moved. It's supposed to be right before summer comes out. It's supposed to be the summer blockbuster of that year. And during that time, they're like, this is what we're gonna have. It's gonna be summer blockbuster. It's gonna be great. And Danny Villeneuve, basically the guy that made Dune Messiah, is coming out the same day as Doomsday. It's coming out the same day, and it's being occupied by a lot of the IMAX stuff. So all the IMAX screens, all the IMAX theaters, the screens that we're going to be seeing will not go to Marvel at all, and will all go towards Dune Messiah. Is because Dune Messiah was shot primarily or all entirely in IMAX with IMAX cameras, right? So that means that Marvel and Disney will not have any IMAX screens whatsoever. This is huge, absolutely crazy, right? What's this here? Beardo's plunger with the 199 save me. Beardo is eating tacos again. Beardo's plunger, thank you so much for the 199. Thank you, appreciate it, man. But yeah, so it's not looking so good when it comes down to this movie. Now here's the thing. I think this movie is probably gonna make $1 billion. You're bringing back so many characters: Hugh Jackman, Chris Hemsworth. You're bringing back Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart. You're bringing back a lot of other characters. The X-Men characters, Deadpool. You're bringing back a lot, like Thunderbolt characters, Fantastic Four characters, and we do know that Robert Downey Jr. is getting paid like $90 million to $100 million for him to come back. That's a lot of fucking money. All right, that's a lot of fucking money. Okay, so this movie, I would say, in order for it to make back its money, this movie will need to make upwards, in my opinion, and according to Valiant Renegade, it needs to make a 1.4 to 1.5 billion dollars with a B, sorry, $1.5 billion in order to break even. That is a shit ton, okay? And Valiant Renegade also said that, and this is all public information, between Infinity War and Endgame was basically supposed to be a two-part movie, right? So that's how they saw it. All of the advertisement and the fucking marketing for that, everything, all of that shit combined, those two movies cost $1.5 billion to make for two movies. That is a lot of movies. Now, of course, that movie had a lot of hype, right? This one came out in 2018 and in 2019 and stuff like that. There's a lot of hype. You got, what's it called again? You got Black Panther. You got Captain Marvel. You got, Captain Marvel was garbage, but Captain Marvel made $1 billion. And you got Ant-Man and Wasp Part 2. You have a bunch of movies led up to it. You have, what's it called again? Thor Ragnarok with Thanos' ship showing up. You had a lot of stuff basically leading up to it, right? Guardians of the Galaxy, I'll do it myself, right? You see hints and drops and stuff like that of Thanos being, it's all that. There's a lot of buildup for Thanos with Phase 3. This movie has nothing, no hype. It has nothing. There was no lead up. The last lead up that you're gonna get was the end credit scene for Fantastic Four, where you see a green cloak and you see Franklin Richard just sitting there or whatever, right? It's not good. Not good at all. I don't think this movie is going to make back its money. All right? If you think about it, $500 million probably just to pay off the actors, right? $100 million to RDJ. Man, not good. As for the Avengers' new nemesis, Gore said that the source explained that Downey's version of the character is a classic universal monster, a tragic figure and a broken figure that Gore compared to Lon Chaney's Sr.'s portrayal of the title character Phantom of the Opera. He went on to describe Dr. Doom's armor, which was necessary to support Doom's broken body, as a contrast to Iron Man's armor, which augments him, but is not needed to keep him alive. Alan Ng suggested that and sounded like Darth Vader, whose armors held breathing aids that allowed him to live, and Gore agreed with the analogy. MCU's Doctor Doom will also retain his comic book counterparts' mastery magic along with his aptitude of science and technology, according to Chris Gore, which will be demonstrated in Avengers Doomsday trailer. Because of this faithfulness to the source material, Gore predicts that Marvel fans will be excited. Finally, he predicts the plenty of reshoots, with Doomsday being worked on right up till the end, meaning until it's released next December. This sounds a lot like a lot of movies that they're currently working on now, and a lot of what went back then for they did back then for Star Wars. Not good. Now, we do know the Russo brothers are coming back for both of these movies, right? We do know that Russo brothers are coming back for Doctor Doom, for Doomsday and Secret Wars. Now, is Secret Wars going to be a part 2 of what's it called again? A Doomsday? I believe so. I don't think that Robert Downey Jr.'s what's it called? Doctor Doom is only going to be for one movie. We do know that he's been cast in for 2 movies, so we do know that there's going to be that's going to be happening. I'm pretty sure they're going to be bringing back a lot like a lot of really, really cool shit. Now, a lot of people are going to mention, what about Spider-Man? A brand new dick, right? Brand new day, right? I think that when it comes down to that movie, it's going to tie into it because it's MCU related, right? But overall, it's a Sony movie. I think that's the only movie that might be able to hype up Avengers Doomsday. I think that's the only movie that can do it. I'm not sure what's going to happen because at the end of No Way Home, you know, I think things changed, right? Everyone lost their memory and shit like that. So the notion that Doctor Doom would be the focus on Avengers Doomsday trailer is unsurprising. He's a brand new villain for the MCU. With his only previous appearance in the glimpse of the the mid-credit scenes in the Fantastic Four First Steps, this is similar to the previous Avengers film, particularly Avengers Age of Ultron and Infinity War, in which the bad guy was the unknown quantity that had been sold to the audience. As such, the trailers for those movies revolved around Ultron and Thanos, respectively. That goes doubles for Doomsday, for those antagonists were being played by Robert Downey Jr., someone in the audience that already known as Iron Man, the hero who started the MCU. Accepting him as the villain in an Avengers movie is a big ask, so the audience has to be sold on the idea early. The irony, of course, is that casting RDJ as Doom is clearly intended to draw a dwindling audience back to Marvel. They're acknowledging that it's a double-edged sword and they need to protect themselves from its swing as best they can. So, in my opinion, I think that this movie, it really depends on how people react during the first look. The teaser trailer has to really, really hold up in order for this to happen. Now, I do know that a lot of normies has already since been checked out. Right? After Endgame, Robert Downey Jr. dies, MCU died with him, right? And of course, when me and Gray live reacted to the announcement of Doctor Doom, who's gonna be playing Doctor Doom a couple years ago during Comic-Con, when RDJ was coming back, we're like, this is a very, very desperate move from Marvel. They know that the next couple of movies that are going to be coming out in TV shows are going to be absolute dog shit. And it is. Most of it has been really, really bad. The only one that has been really, really good for me was Deadpool Wolverine. Of course, that was filled with basic, member berries and nostalgia. People walking to it knowing that they're going to get pleased and fan service by nostalgia. And that's exactly what happened. Overall, the movie, story-wise, is fine, right? And I think that's what's going to happen with this movie. This movie is going to bring in a lot of us nostalgia. Hopefully that it will work, but the quirkiness and the tone of the movie is going to be completely shifted because of it's not a Deadpool Wolverine movie, right? You might have Deadpool in it, but is it going to be like that? Probably not. So, and then the other movie will be No Way Home, and in No Way Home, it's not a an actual MCU movie, even though it's tied into the MCU movie. It's a Sony MCU movie. So I'm not hyped for it. I don't think it's going to do well. Now $1.5 billion for a Marvel movie this size. This movie has to do an upwards of $2.5 billion, in my opinion. I think this movie has to do really, really well. If this movie falls if this movie just gets a slightly over $1 billion, people are going to be like, wow, this movie did so well. Wow, the MCU Marvel's back, baby. Where's Marvel? You know, I'm going to take you for a ride, right? All that shit. They're going to say Marvel is back, and I don't think it's going to be back. But yeah, man, I'm not looking forward to this, but we'll see. Hey, I'm still going to watch it. We're still going to review it, but we'll see. A lot of the cool characters are not going to be in there. We're going to be introduced to a lot of other characters that we don't really like already, but we'll see what's going to happen, though. We'll see.